This is the Pal Talk News Network.
The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online, a production of paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users. On demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on Blip TV and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. No retribution. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. And I remind you, as I always do, to go to our news site, paltalknewsnetwork.com, paltalknewsnetwork.com, to read stories that you may or may not see, hear, or read in the mainstream media. There is a brilliant piece there that puts into perspective what happened in the Gulf of Mexico. There's a lot about that story that has not been brought to light by the mainstream media, and we have a dispatch there that explains exactly what's going on. I wouldn't be surprised if people now boycott British petroleum products. Anyways, I am your host, Gary Baumgarten, and I welcome you to the show. Boaz! Whoa! Why the hell are you playing that?
Because you told me to play it. That's why.
No, I didn't tell you to play it. Tell me, why are you playing it?
I'm playing it because, well, I did play it because you went to a movie today. Iron Man 2.
You got a big mouth, Boaz, you know. I go and I play hooky for 2.5 hours, and you got to announce it to the world. Don't you realize that Jason actually watches this show? Hello?
I know he watches the show. And the question being is, how is it that you get to go to movies during business hours, and I have to sit here and slave like a Hebrew slave in Egypt?
I will tell you why, Boaz, because in addition to being host of News Talk Online on the Pal Talk News Network, I am now Pal Talk News Network's movie critic. I just appointed myself that to get myself out of hot water because you can't keep your mouth shut.
Well, hey, listen, if you get vacation, I need to get vacation too.
Well, yeah, it was about a 2.5 hour vacation. I'll tell you, it wasn't as good, sorry, as Iron Man 1, but I would still recommend it for aficionados because Robert Downey Jr. is brilliant, the only one who could pull off this role, in my opinion. The soundtrack is freaking kick-ass. And how do I tell you this without spoiling the movie? Well, there is a young lady in Stark Industries' apartment. Let me just say, Boaz, she could slap me around anytime she wants. Wow! And that's all I'm going to say about it.
I'm not going to ask anything more than that.
Yeah, well, anyways, she's a toughie, that's for sure. It was a fun movie. It really was. A great escapism. Turn the cell phone off so you couldn't get a hold of me, because I know you have to call me every 5 minutes to ask me this or ask me that. And it was nice. I enjoyed it. It's worth seeing. Probably, I would say, a matinee, so you don't have to pay the full price. So you're not disappointed that you spent too much money on the movie. But it's not so bad that it's a watch-at-home movie. That's my assessment.
I'm going to ask you, Gary, can we share with the virtual auditorium and our listeners on CRN the last conversation we had on the phone about 4 minutes to the show? Can we share that?
All I got to say is if you like the fireworks on Iron Man 2, you're going to love the phone conversation between Boaz and me.
Okay, well then, if that's the case, then I'm going to share it. 4 minutes before the show, Gary calls me. He's got 2 clips that I need to prepare for the show in 4 minutes. Then he calls you back a minute later. I can't log on. The server is busy, and I'm saying, I'm telling Gary, why are you bothering me now?
Boaz, if you recall, I told you to prepare the piece before I went into the movie, which we've already determined it was at least 2.5 hours before the show. In fact, it was at 1 o'clock this afternoon. 4 hours. So no kvetching. Anyways, look at your PM. Look at your PM.
My PM? Oh, that PM. Okay.
Now this one, I know exactly why we are playing it. We are playing it because our lead story today is the election in Great Britain. Will the Commonwealth remain intact, given the fact that we have a hung parliament? To find out, we switch you live to the United Kingdom and our correspondent, Cassandra Wood. Cassandra, welcome to News Talk Online on the Pal Talk News Network.
Oh, Gary, when you played that piece of music, I thought you were going to ask me to tell you about that intrepid sailor. I mean, that was a far more interesting piece of news reporting that I did. You know, the one who bought the boat and tried to sail it.
That's a great story. That's a great story. That's a great story. Tell them what this chap did.
Oh, this chap bought a boat on what was it, from Craigslist, I think it was, and he had no real experience of sailing. So what he did was he bought a boat in Folkestone, which is in the Thames estuary, and he intended to sail it round the coast of Britain to Southampton. Unfortunately, this man hadn't got an awful lot of experience. So he got on. It was a bit like the Owl and the Pussycat going to sea in the beautiful pea green boat, Gary. But he didn't take honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a £5 note. He took a road atlas. He fueled the boat up with 20 litres of fuel, and he took his road atlas, and he decided that since Southampton was on the south coast, all he would have to do is keep the land on his right-hand side, and he would eventually end up in Southampton. And so he set off, this intrepid sailor, and he